I'm gonna do it like this. Where's my video? Oh, that's freaking nice. Why? Really? Okay, let's see. Hey, Chris. Hey, Kathy. Let's pull this up here where I can see myself. Hello. And I told everybody to come back. And there's Carl. Hello, Carl. I see you now. Christina Sargent. Hello. How are you? There's Carol. No, that's not Carol. I'm sorry. Dustin. Hello. This is my just bored video, you guys, because I was terribly bored. And so I'm coming in here to talk with you guys and hang out. And William Harvey, hello, sir. Anyways, so what are you guys doing tonight? You just chilling like I am, and of course you're not doing Facebook Live video because you're bored. Hey, Bill. All right, brother. There's my brother Joey. Hello, brother. I know y'all get bored and you do crazy stuff like me, but 10 inches of snow, wow. Man, all we've got is rain, 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 rain. So tired of rain. Telling you, you could float the Titanic. We've had so much rain over the last month. Hello, Joey. That's my brother Joey, y'all. I don't keep up with sports much, but that's cool. In fact, I don't keep up with sports at all. I'm just not a sports fanatic. Now, back when I was in school, I liked to play football and stuff like that, but as far as just sitting and watching somebody else play, ain't my cup of tea. Now, St. Louis Cardinals, I actually did go to the stadium, watch them play baseball one time, and that was pretty cool. Hello, Ann. Welcome to my little board party. Now, see, this is really cool because this is the way that we're going to be doing the show whenever we start it back up. And it's pretty awesome that, you know, it's coming through clear and it's not lagging and jerking. At least I don't think it is. If it was, somebody would have said something by now. And in the XSplit broadcaster, where I'm looking at myself, I'm not jerking, I'm not lagging. So I think it's all good. And if you play back the video, there don't seem to be any lag or jerk in it or anything like that. So Only thing is there's going to be about 3 videos because I had to restart a couple of times. Awesome, Carl. That's cool. You're going to have to post us some evidence if you get anything. That'd be cool. I took a couple of friends and we went out to what I call the no-name cemetery. Hey, Michael. Uh, it's where we actually captured the picture of the lady in red, which is awesome. And we did get some hits on my K2, and I haven't gone through all the audio yet, but so far I haven't caught any EVPs, but you never know. I'm sure there might be 1 or 2 on there somewhere. The K2 was going off pretty good. And somebody on YouTube decided to tell me that I didn't have good enough equipment. I needed better equipment. I was never going to get a spot on the Travel Channel. And I replied that I don't care for a spot on the Travel Channel or any other network. I ain't into the fame and fortune. I just enjoy what I do. So, but anyway, we went out there. We had some fun. We've been to a haunted bridge in Sharon, Tennessee about 5 times in the last month. And one night out of all of them, well, actually 2 nights, we saw a figure one night. And that's about all we had was that and somebody throwing stones in the river, and it wasn't us. So maybe it was Bigfoot. But anyway, we went on a Sunday night. It was raining. And yes, we were standing out there in the rain like idiots talking to spirits. But at the end of the bridge, I set a K2 down and it went berserk. I mean, we would ask a question and say, you know, if this is true, light it up to number 3, and it would light up to number 3 or 4 if we asked, or whichever one we asked for. And this went on for a good 30, 45 minutes. And we were taking pictures. We didn't get anything on pictures, but, you know, we were getting direct answers on the K2. So, 1848 cemetery. Cool. Yeah, this one is really old too. They're 1800s, most of them. There's a couple out in the front that are more modern. They're like in the 30s and 40s, but the ones in the back where they were actually in a fenced-in plot at one time, they're all 1800s. I'd like to see your evidence. That'd be awesome. And well, I guess everybody else is blinked off or took off, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, it was interesting. The bridge out there is interesting. I gave my word I wouldn't show the picture because it upsets the person that got scratched. But on that bridge, a friend of mine got scratched with 3 claw marks down both sides of her back, and I stood there and watched them whelp up and break blood. And I do have pictures, but I can't show them. I mean, I gave my word that I wouldn't be showing them, putting them out there. So I won't do that. But yeah, it was very freaky. I was standing right beside her and nothing touched me. So I don't know, maybe whatever was there didn't like girls or whatever the case was. But now I was there before with my youngest daughter and my ex-son-in-law. We was out there. There's 2 bridges there. We were at the first one, and a car passed us and stopped on the second one. Some of you may have heard the story, but they stopped close enough that the tail lights lit up to the end of the bridge where they had pulled on there. And 2 guys got out and walked around the back of the car, and they were looking at the back of the car for some reason. I don't know what they were looking at. But a 3rd guy walked past them. They didn't notice him at all. Walked past them, walked off the end of the bridge where the tail lights shone to, and disappeared when he hit the dark. And I mean, we, even after the car left, we took flashlights and walked all down through there shining light, trying to see if anybody was trying to, mess with us, hiding off on the side of the road or something. But we couldn't find anybody. So apparently, we witnessed an apparition walk by, and nobody noticed it but us. Hey, Joe. But that was interesting also. That was the first thing that we saw out there. And then the scratches happened second. And then the figure we saw on the other end of the bridge, that was the 3rd thing. And then the K2 going nuts at the end of the bridge down there was the 4th thing. So there's stuff that happens out there quite a bit. And then there's some times when nothing happens. 2 nights in a row I was out there with different people and nothing happened at all, no K2 hits, no nothing. Which disproves my point that they don't play on cue just because you want them to. If they don't want to talk to you, they're not going to talk to you. Or it could be the fact that maybe they were just passing through when we happened to catch them before. So, hey, what's up, Aaron? Thanks, you guys, for coming and joining my board and just talking about everything session. Now, Aaron was with us at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. We had a PSB-7 that was acting up pretty good in the room that I was staying in there, and also captured something peeping around the crack of the door facing in the 2nd floor hallway, and it was sort of the outline of a figure, but it was blue. So, but I mean, that night was horrendous. It was, the way everything worked, but I won't go into all that. Brianna? It's my daughter-in-law, you guys. Brianna, hello. Anyway, Waverly Hills Sanatorium. How you doing, Brianna? Y'all all doing good? Waverly Hills Sanatorium. I did an 8-hour overnight up there, and the place is just awesome. If you've never been there, it's worth going to. But I warn everybody that when I went, it was $100 a head to go up there for the overnight. Now it's $120. I was there with a large group of people, about 18, I think it was, and they split us in half and put one half the group on the top 2 floors and one half on the bottom 2. So we were in the bottom group, and went into the morgue. They had two of the body freezers in there, which they don't have doors on them anymore. But the guy that was with me, I had him slide me up in there, and I had a recorder running, and I asked very plainly, was there anybody in there with me? Well, when I come out of the thing, I played it back, and you hear it plain as day. It says, I'm with you. So that was pretty cool. And in the death tunnel, seeing as how my legs don't work too good anymore, I couldn't walk that far. So we got about halfway down, and we sat down. And it was pitch black, and we were taking pictures with the camera. The flash would only go out maybe 5 foot or so. And you just couldn't see anything, but I heard footsteps coming up from the bottom, plain as the nose on your face. And I had my recorder running on the step there, and I played it back, and it didn't catch that. And yes, it ticked me off very much. I got a EVP on the 5th floor where, as the story goes, the nurse that got pregnant out of wedlock hung herself. Supposedly in room 502, they aborted her baby. And supposedly she hung herself from a light fixture or something, or water pipes or something outside that door. And I asked if the nurse was there that supposedly hung herself, you know. And when I played that one back, I got a voice that sounded like an old woman that said, help me walk. So, yeah, I had an interesting night up there. If you've never been, you should go check it out. It's an awesome place. And it's big. And doing okay, thank you. Yes. I have a Paranormal 2 in the mail. Okay. No, I don't, Aaron. You know me, I'm pretty old school. I don't mess with a lot of that fancy stuff. In my opinion, you don't really need it. Hey, Leanne. The only piece of equipment I have that I would consider high end would be the DVR system, and we use that when it's, you know, necessary. If we do a residential or something, we may use that, but I have, hey Tiffany, I have the DVR system, like I said. We don't use it usually unless we're doing a residential, and we can set everything up and monitors up and have a place, you know, to do that. The main things that I use on a regular basis is I have 3 Sony night shot cameras that I use, and a K2, and a digital recorder, and I also have a audio, you know, the tape player type. And actually, I like the tape player type ones. But anyway, that's what I use mainly. I do have a little imitation knockoff REM pod thing. It's never worked exactly right since I got it. I have a PSB 7. I don't use it. I hate those things. I don't even know why I keep it. I ought to sell it. But anyway, how you doing, Leanne? Nice for you to join us. Actually, Carl, we thought about doing that at one cemetery. We was going to run our generator and run the DVR system. But the problem is you've got the noise from the generator, and there's no way really that you can muffle that enough to where it's not causing contamination. So we haven't tried it yet. I mean, we thought about it, but and there's some really cool old cemeteries around here. I I wouldn't mind trying it maybe once just to see how bad it was. You know, the noise was. I guess you don't know for sure if you don't try. I'm doing pretty good, Leanne. Thank you very much. This is my board talk about everything video and my live video, and I've been testing this software and stuff, this broadcasting software to do our shows on, and so I found out that it does work pretty good, and when I get bored like this, I can always just broadcast live and talk to you guys and girls and solar power banks. Huh. I have porta power. I'd have to check that out. That'd be interesting. Where would you find something like that? Tiffany, you're not going to say hello? Anyway, uh, Carl, you're going to have to tell me where I can find those power banks at. That's very interesting. I think it would be cool to be able to set up a DVR system without any noise. We may come upon a place that has no power, and we may want to do that. 100 amp hour battery. Well, that's awesome, but you still haven't told me where I can find them at. Where? Where can I find them? Hey, Leanne. One of our dogs over there digging her way to China. Okay, Carl, that's cool. Anyway, this has been a lot of fun, and you guys are awesome. Like to be able to come in here like this and talk to y'all and hang out, have a good time. And of course, I can't see y'all, but y'all can see me. I'd have to do my Skype thing to be able to bring anybody else in live, but I can do that. If you have Skype and you want to come in with me sometime, and when I'm doing this, that's cool. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Anyway, yeah, that's cool. If you have Skype, I can bring you into the broadcaster with me, and we can talk and answer questions in the chat and whatever, and just have a good old time. You know, I mean, this is a lot of fun. Although it's not as exciting if I had someone to talk to in here with me, but I have to lean forward to read this, so y'all have to pardon me. Antoinette Theater, where's that at? Hey, Ken Champ. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Where's this Antoinette Theater at? Is that up there where you live in Dayton? Carol Ann, there's my sweetie. That's my buddy right there. And Don Berenger, hello. You're back. Cool. Um, Carl, I appreciate it, buddy. If you do that, I'd appreciate it. I'm still waiting to find it. And Pulaski, where's Pulaski? Y'all have to forgive me. I'm not really worldly. A lot of places I haven't been yet. Where do I live? Martin, Tennessee. I'm doing okay, Carol. Thanks a lot. Glad you stopped in. Pulaski, Tennessee. Okay, I'll have to look that up. See how many arms and legs away from me it is. But it sounds interesting. Now, what's the claims up there? Facebook keeps kicking you off. Well, that ain't no fun. South of Nashville, okay. I'd have to see which way I could route that. I hate driving in Crashville. They call it that for a reason, you know. Excuse me. Anyways, but yeah, I wouldn't mind checking that out. I'd like to know what kind of claims they got going on up there. Don Berenger, sir, if you're still in here, say hello. Hey, Belinda, how you doing? Oh, okay, Aaron, that's fine. Hey, Don, how you doing, brother? Don's got to fix his motorcycle because I'm one of these days I'm gonna ride up there and he's gonna have to take me for a ride through the neighborhood and show me all the sights. Oh, that's good, Belinda. Glad to hear that. Anyways, talking about haunted places, talking about really anything y'all want to talk about. You're ready. Did you get your bike fixed? You get it all fixed? Spring D. Griffin. What the heck is that? Oh, cool, Don. That's awesome, brother. I plan on doing a lot of road tripping when the weather gets right again. So I'll have to come look you up, and maybe you know some haunted places up there we could go ride to. That'd be awesome. Of course, about everywhere I go, I'm looking for haunted places. Knoxville, yes, sir. I've been there. It's been a while ago, but I've been there. Been through there. Okay. Spring D. Griffin, you says is a friend. Was trying to tag her. She wanted to know what I was doing. Okay. Laura Matheny, how are you doing? Waiting for spring camp out at our cemetery. Yeah, that'd be fun too. Actually, we're going to do in August. Me and a couple of buddies are going to take the bikes up Route 66, and we'll probably be staying over at some campgrounds and visiting abandoned towns and stuff like that on the way. I'm assuming it works just like the PSB7 and all that does, Don, which is relatively simple. Um, I'd have to see what you got and figure it out, but I'm sure it's pretty simple. Oh yeah, Route 66 is going to be a blast, and Carol. Oh, that's cool, Belinda. Don, I'm going to try to make it up there, buddy. I promise you. I have to figure out my routes and my funding and be able to have somewhere to stay. So if I come and stay for a night, maybe. But I'll figure all that out. That would be cool, Carol. You'd be a trip to have on. You'd be a trip to have on the trip. Anyways, this has been fun, you guys. Gallatin, Missouri. I appreciate that, Don. I really do, brother. Carol Ann. Carol's my buddy, y'all. She's a trip. Anyway, I'm not. Where's my thing? There we go. I have to have my broadcaster screen up so I can see what's going on. But yeah, I got several things planned, hopefully for spring and summer, and uh, I want to go back to Waverly Hills again. I also want to go to Brushy Mountain State Pen. Uh, Sensabaugh Tunnel. But my all-time top of my bucket list places, if I ever make it up there, is to go to Pennhurst. I always wanted to go to Pennhurst. There's a couple of other sanatoriums and stuff like that that I'd like to visit. Carol Ann, I wish you quit popping those things up now. I can't see what's going on. I can't see what anybody's typing. uh, I want to go to Brushy. Yeah, I mean, that would be cool. And that's up in East Tennessee, Don, somewhere. Not exactly positive exactly where it's at, but I got a buddy that knows where it's at. Can I be a part of those investigations? Aaron, buddy, you're always welcome. You know that. Y'all gonna have to pardon me for a second. I'll be right back. Ah, hash my house. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. I had to uh, water the flowers and roll a cigarette, so I can put my eyeballs back on so I can see what everybody's talking about. 45 minutes north of Knoxville. Cool. Okay. I live in East Tennessee and have a spare room. You're awesome, dude. Thank you. I appreciate it. I understand what you're saying, Aaron. I understand what you're saying. I had a discussion recently. Um, I'm not against anybody. Okay, Don, thanks. I'm not against anybody that wants to get involved in the paranormal field. You know, there's plenty of room for everybody. But if you're not serious and you're going to pull crap and fake crap and do all this kind of stuff, trying to get the next spot on the Sci-Fi channel, just stay the hell away from me. I ain't got no time for you. Okay? I mean, I'm just going to put it out there blunt like that. One of the worst things in the world that I hate is when I catch somebody faking evidence or something like that. And I've caught a couple of different ones. So, yeah, I can get pretty irate really quick. Now, I ain't saying, and this is another thing that I don't like. I cut up when on investigations. You know, my team, we cut up some, and but horseplay is no good anywhere, especially if you're in a residential, place and you're investigating someone's home. You don't need to be horseplaying and acting like an idiot, and that's pretty much, you want to crack a joke, say something funny, that's all good. Not only is horseplay dangerous, but makes you look like a fool in front of a client, I mean, they ain't going to take you serious, and neither is anybody else. So, this little pet peeves that I have about some things in the paranormal. And if you're gonna, I don't care if you want to be the next ghost hunter on Sci-Fi. That's fine with me. I'm not interested, but you can if you want. But don't run down other teams or try to, hurt somebody's credibility because you're afraid they're going to get your spot on TV. Most of them that you're messing with and trying to deface and everything like that could give a damn less about it anyway. So, I mean, really, if that's what you want to do, go do it. More power to you. You'll be just like, the ghost hunters were. You may start out great, but then again, the network's going to own you before it's over with. Nobody owns me. So, if that's your thing, go for it, More power to you. You may make $1 or $2, but is that worth your integrity? Is that worth you being owned by somebody? Not to me. So anyway, I guess I've done my rant about that. So nobody, I guess, wants to hear no more about that. Anyway, beside the point, there's plenty of room for anybody that's serious that wants to get involved in the paranormal. I would suggest that you work with a team that has some experience. Don't just go strike out there by yourself and not know what you're doing, because you can get hurt really easy. And I don't want to see anybody get hurt. You know, if you're really wanting to do that, you know, and if you're wanting to start a team up, that's fine too. But like I said, work with somebody that's been around for a little while, that knows at least some of what they're doing, so that you don't wind up getting a broke leg, broke arm, somebody wind up getting killed, and that's happened on some investigations in the past. Don't think it won't happen, because it will. I mean, I'm an old guy. I've been around for a little bit, and a lot of stuff I had to learn the hard way. But what I learned, I share with people, and I try to warn people: don't go out there and just think you can go out and be the next ghost hunter when you don't know your butt from a hole in the ground. Okay, because it don't work like that. Well, thank you, sir. And I don't claim to be wise. I just, you know, I've had my foot in a few holes, and I've tripped and stumbled, and I know it can be very dangerous, and especially stomping around in old cemeteries at night like that. If you ain't prepared, you know, and you don't have proper lighting and all this kind of stuff, you can get hurt really quick. That one that we went to, it's all growed up. There's a fence buried in the limbs and twigs and bushes that used to be about 4 foot high, I think. But I tripped over it the other night because I didn't have a light on like an idiot, and that's why I tell people be prepared. I had one, but I had my camera in my hand, and I was looking through the little view screen ahead of me and wasn't paying no attention, and I tripped over that fence and like it broke my damn fool neck. So yeah, I mean, it's really easy to get hurt. Uh, but you know, I'll tell off on myself because I'd rather tell off on myself and save somebody else from getting hurt. So uh, that place was it's a really interesting little cemetery out there. Wish I could take all my friends out there. There's one about 4 miles further down that you can actually find on the internet called Workman's Cemetery. It's reputed to be haunted, and I've been there several times and got some EVPs one time. But I mean, heck, we sat out there with cameras running about half the night one night. We didn't get anything, recorders running, cameras running. As I said before, they don't play just when you want them to. If they ain't interested, you ain't going to get nothing. So, but there's a story behind the Workman's Cemetery, and you can look it up online. It'll tell you all about the slave girl and all that was supposedly murdered and buried out there somewhere, and she was 9 years old. I've never seen a spirit of a slave girl or any other spirits out there. Like I said, got a couple of EVPs one night, but anyway, that's Workman's Cemetery, and the one that I go to is about 4 miles back toward me, and it doesn't have a name. So it might have been, I think it was a family plot, and then they buried a few people outside the fence. But all the stuff inside the fence is 1800s. And it's just really interesting. I wish I could take everybody out there, but unfortunately they live too far away. Aaron, if you ever make it down this way, sir, I'll take you out there and show you that cemetery. And there's 2 or 3 more I can take you to, if you like cemeteries. I can't tell who that is, but there's a cemetery that's at the corner of a road where a road tees off at. And 2 interesting things in this cemetery is, well, actually 3 interesting things I have to tell you. When you go up the little hill there, like toward the end of the road where it tees at, and you go up a little hill. There's a 6-inch thick concrete slab over a double grave right there. Why someone felt like they needed to put a 6-inch thick concrete slab over this grave, in my opinion, you're either trying to keep something from getting out or somebody from getting in. So, but anyway, and then if you wade around through and this is all grown up really bad too, if you wade through back in there, you'll see the old metal nameplates that they used to put up before the tombstones would be there. They would put a nameplate up. It's been there so long and it's so old that all the wording had wore off of it, and somebody wrote it back on with a magic marker. And I had pictures of that too, which I thought was really interesting. But we went out there with some friends one day, and as we were leaving, we were walking out toward the back end of the cemetery, toward the road back there, and a person went across about, I want to say 100 yards out from us, like out to our left. And it wasn't any of us, but looked just as real as you do. Walked past us across over there and was just gone, just disappeared. And that was really interesting. Anyway, that's another one of the cool old cemeteries that we've got out here. Right here in town, we have the Yellow Fever Cemetery. Supposedly in the back, there's a mass grave because people were dying so fast they couldn't properly bury them like they, had been. They were having to wrap them in sheets and put them in a big hole in the ground back there. And that was when Martin was a very young town. It almost didn't exist after when that epidemic hit, like it wiped it out. But the doctor's house that was the doctor here back then is right down the road from me, and it's a big old Victorian. I love that house. I'd love to investigate that house. That would be cool. But unfortunately, people live in it, so can't do that. There's another little cemetery down past the one I was just telling you about called Griffith Cemetery, and it's got the little metal arch there in the front with a name on it, and it's not very big at all. The graves are all 1800s. There's another cemetery back out to the right side of all of this, going back, well, my other right, going, well, I'm, as you see, but anyway, the ones I was talking about were on my left, and this one is on my right, and it's 1800s too, and it's broke up into 3 sections. I don't know why. It's got like a large section on one end, a little small one off to the side, and then a large section on the other end. And they're all early 1800s, 1829, 1819, just, they're really old 1800 tombstones in this place. Went out there with a friend of mine one night, and we kept seeing, we were up toward the front section of where the little side section is, and we kept seeing something darting back and forth at the other end, at the bigger section at the other end, right in the front of it. And it would go across this way, and then a few seconds it would go back across this way. And of course, I don't have the I don't know what word you're looking for here. I don't have the sense to run. I run toward things instead of away from them. So I walked up toward that way, and I'm saying, talk to me. Come here, quit running. Come here, talk to me. And we just see it after that. So I guess it didn't like the idea that I wasn't afraid of it. But, I mean, you never know what you're going to see in these places. when we caught the lady in red at the one that I took Mary Ann and Mikey to here recently, we weren't expecting that. My buddy was panning with the camera like this, and we didn't see anything on there. And after we left, I guess she superimposed herself onto the picture. And they were going through them when he got home, and his girlfriend had seen it and said, "Look at that." So he had to call me up and say, "You ain't gonna believe what I got." And then he sent me the pictures, and I'm like, "Holy crap." That was really cool. Hey, Linda, Mrs. Barringer, nice to finally meet you. Nice to finally meet you. But yeah, this is there's some interesting stuff that goes on in cemeteries. A lot of people say that ghosts don't hang out in cemeteries. Well, they're full of crap, because they will. Um, well, I've got the proof of that, actually. But it's not the first time that I've ever heard of apparitions being caught in a cemetery. So, and EVPs are caught in cemeteries, and footsteps are heard in cemeteries, and there's all kind of things that happen in cemeteries. So if you think ghosts don't hang out at cemeteries, you're wrong, and you should go visit a few more of them. And especially, I think you're going to have better luck if you go to some of the older cemeteries like we did, where people aren't constantly out there doing this. Because it's just like you go into let me quote this here, haunted house, and there may be activity, but then when all the paranormal teams start flooding in there, and antagonizing and provoking and doing all their ignorant crap, they just shut up. They don't care to let you know they're here. They don't care to speak with you. They don't want you there. But you can go to some of these old cemeteries that nobody's been to in years, unless it's a family member that actually cares enough to go by and leave some flowers. But you can go to places like that, especially the ones way out in the boonies, like the ones that I go to. You don't know what you're going to catch out there. We were sitting out there one night in the one with the concrete slab. I was actually sitting on the foot of the concrete slab. Excuse me. And I plainly heard footsteps. It wasn't an animal in the grass back there. It sounded like human footsteps. But never came close enough, for you to actually do anything. It was kind of like 30 foot out maybe from us and going across in front of us like this. But it was human footsteps. And I hoped that I had caught it on a recorder, but I didn't. And I don't know if it's because it was so far away that the recorder didn't catch it, but the human ear caught it, because I definitely heard it. Places like that, things like that are really interesting. You surprised Dawn. How did I surprise Dawn? You got to fill me in on that, the whole surprise thing. Anyway, it's really interesting to do these old cemeteries, and I love old empty houses, like 2-story houses and stuff. Those are cool to investigate, but sometimes cemeteries are even more interesting, believe it or not. I love the ones with the big old unique tombstones in them, or statues and stuff like that in them. Those are really awesome. And it's kind of like, to me, going into an old Victorian house, and you're not only there, trying to get evidence of the paranormal, but you're looking at all this unique woodwork, the fancy carved woodwork and stuff like that. And so to me, the cemetery is kind of sort of the same way. I'm looking at all the unique tombstones that I see out there, and thinking of all the workmanship that went into carving these things, and giving kudos to whoever it was that carved the tombstone, because they did a really good job. I've seen angel statues in cemeteries. I've seen there's one over the next town over from me that has a marble slab over the top of a grave with a rebel flag carved into it. Now, how cool is that? Uh, and there's like a monument that stands back there, and it doesn't have anything unique about it. Don't have anything written on it. It's just like an obelisk that stands up back there with a round ball like top thing on it up there, and I think that's just really cool. They're cool, Don. I love doing them. Like I said, sometimes even better than empty old houses. I just think they're really cool. Um, and when you think about it now, and I ask y'all, everybody that's here listening and watching, old asylums are creepy. Old empty houses are creepy. But when it gets down to it, verbatim, an old grown up cemetery in the middle of nowhere, that's freaking creepy. It don't need no help. It don't need any claims or any stuff about it. It's just creepy. Uh, that one has got some tombstones that have been knocked over. They were the big tall ones that came up to like a point with a ball on top of them. There was three or four of those in a row there, and they all have been knocked over years ago. They were inside the fence. I told you all the older ones are inside the fence. Um, but all that stuff just looks creepy. You go out there in the middle of the night, especially if you don't have good light, or you don't think to turn yours on, like some idiot I know, his name was Roger. Uh, you trip over stuff. And there was a cemetery outside of Palmersville, Tennessee. Me and my brother was about half drunk one night. We went out there looking for it because we'd heard stories about it. Well, I found it. I'm staggering my drunk ass up the hill with a cigarette lighter and tripped over a tombstone, and that's how I found it. But it was pretty neat. But it wasn't as old as the ones that I'm talking about, the markers and gravestones in it. But there was one from the 1700s. There was one tombstone in there from the 1700s, and I thought that was really neat. But after we found it, and we, was talking about where it is and blah, 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 well, then somebody decides to come in there and clean all that up. And it was right out in the middle of this big field where they planted crops all around this mound. It looked like a damn Indian mound, but it had tombstones all up there. But they come in and they cleaned it all up, added some new tombstones, did all this to it, and then they let it all grow back up again. Now you can't even find it again. So why, it just, that makes no sense at all to me. But yeah, tombstones and grave markers, different types. The one that's got the rebel flag carved on it, there's 3 marble slabs there. The one with the flag on it is the guy that founded the cemetery. He fought in the Civil War. There's a metal or marble one on the right side, I think, is his son, and the one on the left side is his wife. So, yeah, all that's cool. And there's actually two cemeteries there that are linked together. The old cemetery has a concrete or block wall that goes around it about 4 foot high. And then the one on the end, that's where they let other people, excuse me, where they let other people bury, their family outside of the original family plot there. That one's blocked off with a chain link fence. So yeah, there's two cemeteries there. But the monument and the marble slabs over the graves, I thought all that was really cool. Okay. All right. Oh, that's cool. You should go there sometime. Take a video camera and a recorder and see what you can get. Oh, wow. That is cool, Don. If I ever make it up there, you're going to have to take me to that. We have a little Confederate cemetery in Union City, Tennessee, which is the next town west of me. And it's unique because of the way it's laid out. And it has a monument that sits almost in the center. And the monument at one time had a Confederate rifle, a Bible, and a sword in it. Somebody broke through the concrete of the monument, stole the stuff out of it, which I think is plumb retarded. But anyway, the way the graves are laid out is like at the back end of it, which is actually the front end, there used to be an arch there that said what the cemetery was, and it led down to a railroad track, and it had big oak steps that went down the hill. But the tombstones are laid out like both of my hands are two corners of the cemetery. They were rounded. They went around like they would start, like here and come around this way and stop. Over here, same thing. They would start over there and go around that way and stop. The other end of the cemetery, same way. It would start here and they would come around and stop. And then right at the very back, which is actually by the road, but it is the back, there's a couple of steps that come up, and there's one grave right there. And that grave was of a black man who was the general's aide, and that's why he got to be buried there with the rest of the soldiers. But he was still separate from the soldiers. So that's pretty unique too. And they do still fly the rebel flag there. Got to give them thumbs up for that. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting old cemeteries out here. My buddy knows where there's one on top of this big hill. He said you have to walk up that hill. I don't think you can drive up there. But anyway, there's a cemetery up on top of that hill. It's supposed to be really creepy. And I've yet to go, and I want to go, I want to go to that one. We went to one in Mayfield, Kentucky. And it's the one where there's a statue of a guy on a horse. The statue of the horse with the guy riding, sitting on it. And statues of all his family members all around him. But actually, he's the only one buried in there. But he's got statues of all his family nieces, nephews, the whole 9 yards that are all around him. And it's in this big wrought iron fenced in area, which I had pictures of. I have pictures of somewhere. But that's really cool. And then there's a big obelisk that stands out there that's got an angel at the top of it. And that's pretty cool. And then there's some other stuff that's pretty interesting about that place. But yeah, that was cool. So, if you guys get tired of hearing me ramble, just let me know. We'll shut this down. I'm just talking about things that I know and that I've seen and what I think is interesting. You can chime in anytime if you have something interesting that you want to tell me. I tell you, there's a place that I'd like to get into, but I think they remodeled it. Maybe somebody living there now. And it's out about 6 miles to the north of me. And it's got these big gates with lion heads on them. And if you go up in there, unless they've changed it, I don't know. Angela, how you doing, Mama Bear? If you go up in there and they haven't changed it, there's a pond in the front yard, and there's like the house was back in the back there. And the house wasn't like really big like this, it was just stretched out, you know. But in the yard around this pond, there were statues everywhere, and they were creepy looking. I always thought how cool it would be to have been able to get in there and investigate that place and the outside where all the statues are before they come and started redoing it. But that place is awesome. I mean, you can see the statues from the road in the wintertime when all the vines and stuff are dead, you know, but in the summer you can't hardly see them. But when you're driving by and you see the head of this statue sticking up there, it's kind of freaky, you know. No, I didn't see the comment about your parents' house. Where did I miss that at? Hey, Greg, how you doing, brother? Yeah, we're hoping to get the show up here real soon. We're still working out a few little bugs here and there, but Linda, let me scroll back up here because I must have missed that. Oh, okay. Wow. So I could go in there and maybe meet your dad. That'd be cool. Oh, I read it. I found it. I think that'd be very interesting, actually. I always like hearing about people that think that they're family members, and I don't just mean think. In some cases, they actually are still hanging out where they lived, where they belonged. That was their house. It's just kind of, it's in a way, it's just like when you go into somebody moves into a house and the resident owner, his spirit's still there because in his mind it's still his house. If you remodel it and change things around, they don't like that. But they're still seeing everything as it was when they were alive. At least that's what I think. Now, I could be wrong. Um, they're still seeing, like, I remember watching a video, and you see the spirit of a woman walk right through the side of a house from the outside. And I don't know if it's like maybe, she had hung clothes on the line and she was going into a door that used to be there. But she come from out across the yard and walked right through the side of the house. And it looked like she stepped up like a couple of steps or something and it just went right through the wall. So there would have had to have been a door there at one time, and that's interesting. Oh, that's cool. Did you capture that? Any evidence of that? Yes, Linda, I'm talking to you. Did y'all get any evidence of that? Of their visitation? TV comes on by itself. That's cool. Now, see, if that was happening to me, I would have to set a camera where it would catch that. And then it'd be my luck it wouldn't come on until my battery died and then it'd pop on. But, but I'd love to set a camera up and try to catch something like that. Water got turned out when they were in vacation. I've heard a lot of stories about spirits that will turn water faucets on. You can walk by and it'll be fine, and then all of a sudden you'll hear water running. You go back and the faucet's running. Huh. You're sure there's no way nobody could have got in through a window or something and then unlocked the doors? And I have to ask these questions because there's different things people can do that you would never know that they had unlocked the doors from the inside, got in another way. So the windows were all locked, the doors were locked. There's no possible entrance into the home. Got a basement? And if so, does it have the doors that lead to the outside? Okay. Well, I'll take your word for it, Don. See, I'd like to catch all that. That'd be interesting. But I have to ask questions like that. You know, I'm my worst enemy, even with my own stuff. I always try to see if there's a other possible way that something could have happened. You know, so I hope y'all don't take no offense when I ask you stuff like that, because I'm just trying to get a full grip on what's going on. Oh no, you are. Oh no, you are. Oh no, I am what? Anyway, I mean, y'all gonna know for sure. I'm just seeing if there's any other possibilities, you know, because that's what I would ask myself if I heard the same things, or you know, or if I noticed the same things. I'll be trying to find a possible realistic human way something could have happened, and if I can rule that out, then I know it was something from the other side. You see. Exactly. You got to rule out every possible thing till you get to the impossible things, or the otherworldly things, the spiritual things, so to speak. But I would love to go in there with some cameras, and set them up, and some recorders, and see if I could actually catch anything. That'd be really fun and interesting. Anna, hello. I've enjoyed this. This has been a good time. I love talking about paranormal stuff. That's my thing. Um, oh, thanks, Don. I appreciate that, buddy. Well, you're a pretty great stand-up guy yourself. Okay, so anyway, Etta just joined us, and she's been a long time friend of mine on Facebook, and we're talking paranormal whatnots and this and that. So just join right in if you got something interesting to talk about. Well, you actually might could, but you also know that you can use a K2 to do the same thing. It won't be a voice, but they can actually interact with that K2 and answer questions for you. Uh, we did that at the Haunted Bridge. We actually got the spirit to light that K2 up to a certain number when we asked a question. So it verified that, you know, what we asked was true. and if it wasn't true, they didn't light the box up. So, you know, there's different things you can do. Uh, I don't really care much for spirit boxes. I got a PSB 7, and I just soon leave it at home when I go out. That's how much I hate that thing. But I would love to see how the one that you have works. I think that's interesting because it sounds like different from anything I've seen so far, except maybe on a video. And it may actually work in a way that it doesn't drive me up a wall. So I think, and I think that a device that creates a white noise effect, not skipping through stations and hoping that whatever you hear ain't coming from some radio show in bits and pieces. A device that would create a white noise effect because they can use that white noise, you know, to communicate also. Um, if you have something like that and you have headphones that you can run through your recorder, you can actually hear an EVP in real time. And in that way, you would do the same thing. You'd be able to talk to him, and he might answer you through that, and you would hear it like firsthand through those speakers. You'd be able to ask the next question or say whatever you wanted to say and hear back what he was saying in return. Okay. Like I said, I would have to see it, mess with it a little bit, see how things work. Um, I'm pretty sure that it operates similar to what my PSB 7 does. So it shouldn't be too hard to set it up to get it working like you want it. And you know, anybody that likes that kind of stuff, you know, more power to you. Like I said, I don't care for them. In fact, I'll probably wind up selling mine off or something because I don't ever use it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And whenever you're running that box, you also want to run a camera too. It'd probably be put a camera on a tripod and put it facing the box, you know, so many feet back, and then you guys stand like to the right and left side of the box, not in front of it. You might actually catch, if something's talking through it, you might actually catch them maybe standing behind it or even in front of it. You might actually catch a apparition of the person that's doing the talking. I can't say for sure, but it's worth a shot. It's what I would do. Um, Pardon me. What are you doing? My daughter's doing something in there in the kitchen. Anyway, Yeah, I think so too. I think that you ought to try that. When you bought this box, did it come with any kind of directions telling you how to set it up or how it works or anything like that? Hey, Kat, how you doing? I would think, especially when people charge a lot of money for those things, I would figure that you would get some kind of operational paperwork there to tell you how to operate the thing. Awesome. Glad you stopped by. We're talking some paranormal stuff here, and right now we're talking about a spirit box that a friend of mine has, and of course I was talking about how I hate those things and I want to throw mine out in the yard sometimes. But anyway, yeah, if you run that thing, set you up a camera about 10, 15 foot back from it, zero it in on that device, and it's going to capture the area right around the side, right around it, behind it, in front of it. And if you get somebody talking, hopefully you'll get a picture of them or a video of them, maybe. I think that would be really interesting. Yeah, $600 for that thing. You ought to got some kind of paperwork, something telling you how to use it. Thank you, Kat. Appreciate that. Does this I don't, and everybody has their own opinions about stuff like that. I don't uh, put no faith in the phone app stuff. I know a lot of people do. I don't. I just don't. Uh, I don't believe in them. I don't have faith in them. I tried one of them out for a little bit, and I caught repeat stuff on there. Same voice, whole different location, saying the same thing. You know, echo box. That's what it was. And I just don't have a lot of faith in the phone app stuff. You can get the one that's supposed to show you how many spirits are in the area and where they're at and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I just, as my daughter says, her favorite line, I just can't. Right, Kat? I'm with you on that one. Well, that's cool. I understand that. And I mean, it's probably a really great piece of machinery, but does it do like phonetic stuff? Does it say words just randomly and stuff like that? Or is it like flick through radio stations really quick? Which way does it work? No, I don't believe I've ever heard of him. Yeah, I was talking to you, Linda. I don't think I've ever heard of that guy. Uh, okay, so Jeff Bent made the box, but this brown guy sold it to you. We had an obelisk out at the cemetery the other night. Of course, it never said anything. Heck, we could keep this up all night. We've done a 2-hour show here. Okay. Well, it didn't that time. It didn't. Never uttered one random word until she went to turn it off, and that's when it decided to mumble some crazy shit that didn't have nothing to do with where we was. So I don't know if I believe a whole lot in those either. And see, any machine or device that uses random words, I mean, the chance that it's actually a spirit using that box or it's just randomly spitting out something that you feel like corresponds to what you're talking about, the chances are like 50-50. So any device that spits out words randomly, like Echo Box or that, or even when you're doing a spirit box where it's flickering through stations. I mean, there is that chance that some question you asked, there may be a paranormal show on some station where they just actually happen to say that word and it got through. So, I'm not, like I said, I'm really old school about stuff. I believe in what I can see, taste, touch, smell, and hear. And I just, I can't get into things that just blurt out random words. Bye, Belinda. Thanks for stopping by. Well, some people swear by that stuff, and that's fine. If they've got a lot of faith in it and they believe that they're actually catching paranormal stuff, that's fine. But me, myself, I'm not going to buy half of it. I don't care what it says. In the end, I'm going to run it through my head until I tell myself, well, look, 50-50 chance that that could have been actually paranormal or just something that actually happened to come out that sounded similar to what you asked. And I'm going to wind up throwing it out. So, you know, I just don't. I'd have to have a lot more convincing proof. That's just like the whole orb thing, okay? People say, oh, I know that was an orb. It's got a face in it. Oh, I know that's an orb. It's got a tail on it. Come on. You know, and I've gained friends and lost friends because of my philosophy about orbs. Um, when an orb floats up to me, like here to here, and says, hey, Raj, I'm an orb, I'm going to write that down as evidence. Or if it floats up here, right here, and turns into a full-blown apparition, I'm going to write that down as evidence. But if that don't happen, forget it. Actually, no, I don't. No, I actually have not. I've seen dust, moisture, bugs, etc. And like I said, if it don't float up right here and tell me it's an orb, it's dust, bugs, moisture, etc. Like I said, some people have got mad, unfriended me over this, and some people have sent me a friend request after I told them that. So, you know, I mean, you can have it either way. That's just how I look at it. And is what it is, you know. Good night, Kat. Thanks for popping in. I'm sure we'll do this again sometime. You're welcome to come back. We've just been having a fun old time tonight. We're talking, like I said, we're just talking about anything and everything, mostly paranormal, but uh, since that's what most of us are into. But anyway, I'm glad you came by. Come back and join us again. You saw two orbs go across the ceiling. Well, I'm not doubting that you think you saw orbs go across the ceiling. I don't doubt at all that you think you saw orbs go across the ceiling. Did they stop and say, hey, I'm an orb? Because if they didn't, it was some reflection off of something. Not meaning to step on toes or offend anybody, but that's the way I see orbs. You know, that's the reason why mainly I don't even like to talk about orbs with anybody, because people will get really upset if you don't agree with them about the whole orb thing. and I just don't. So I usually keep my mouth shut about orbs. I don't bring up the subject, and I usually don't answer on the subject very much. Um, I can show you with, and I'm trying to get this where you can see it, my watch right here. My watch crystal, if I'm standing in front of a window, okay, and it's daytime, the sun's shining through, and the sun catches that crystal on my watch, it'll cast a perfect orb on the wall. And if I move my arm, that orb will move across the wall. So there's too many things that can cause those shapes and the illuminous that they have outside of them being a actual spirit in a little ball of light. Okay, so no, I don't buy orbs. But then, as I said, other people, they'll swear by them. And you know, if you think in your mind that you saw orbs, by all means, you saw orbs. But if I see anything like a ball of light, I don't care if it's moving this way or that way or whatever, it's not an entity in a ball of light. Okay, well, I hope I didn't offend nobody. Everybody got quiet. Everybody left. Oh, no, everybody didn't leave. Oh, good. I'm glad. I wouldn't want to do that. You know, sometimes it's hard to. Sometimes it's as hard to have an opinion against things like that as it is for people that have the opinion that they exist. You know, and both sides are going to swear that they're right. You know, one side's going to swear, oh, I saw an orb. I know it was an orb. It did this. It did that. The other side is going to be like, well, this can cause that, and this can cause that, and that can cause that. So you're just going to have a constant debate there, you know, and usually somebody will wind up getting offended. Hey, Don, glad you're still here, buddy. Um, but yeah, that's the thing about the whole war thing. That's why I don't like talking about them, because I mean I have seen people get jump up and down mad over it. Well, you can. That's fine. You know, and I'm not saying it couldn't have been. You know, I'm just saying that I don't believe in them until I get literal in my face proof. Okay, that doesn't mean that it can't happen, and it doesn't mean that it wasn't. Maybe it was, but for me to believe it, like I said, it's going to have to come up in my face and tell me, "Hey, I'm Linda's mom or I'm Linda's dad." You know, because that's how hard headed I am when it comes to orbs. But by all means, it could have been. You might have saw it. You know, you might have saw them. You know, I'm not, and I'll say this again. I'm not saying that orbs can't be real. I'm just saying I need more proof that they are actual entities. Like I said, they're gonna have to come up and buzz my face and tell me, "Hey, I'm an orb," or "I'm an entity," you know, or turn into an apparition where I can actually see that that's what it was. And so far, that hasn't happened. So no, I don't buy the whole thing. Shut up. Sorry, my daughter.
Dinner is going to be ready in a little while.
What's dinner?
Tacos.
You made tacos?
Working on it.
My daughter made tacos, y'all. Yay. You ain't never made no tacos. Not that I know of.
Okay, thanks.
That's awesome. My daughter made tacos. Looks like I'm eating good tonight. I was actually going to make them tomorrow night, so, I mean, the fact that you made them tonight's fine, but... Anyways, 12 people are watching. That's awesome. Well, I hope y'all all had a good time. I always eat good, Don. Well, usually it's because I cook it, but my daughter's cooking it tonight, so I didn't have to. And she can cook when she wants to. I've got a little pork roast in there that I need to make here soon, too. And that's going to be good, Don. That's going to be good. It's about maybe this big around. And it's pre-season. So I'm gonna put it in my slow cooker and I'm gonna let it just ease into perfectionism. Yeah, okay. Anyway. Yeah, I usually cook a lot, but I was having a lazy streak tonight and I really didn't want to cook. So I ate Roman noodles earlier. Hope I got room for some of them tacos. Of course, I am the little fat man. I guess I can make room for a couple of them. Oh, way to go, Don. And they're not quite ready yet, so... But I am going to have to get off here because I need to go make coffee, and I've been on here for, good Lord, I don't know how long I've been on here. Does it have a timer? I don't see a timer. I don't see a timer or how long it's been on here, but I've been on here for a while, and I've really enjoyed this. I have enjoyed everybody coming in and those that come in and watched. Yeah, I had fun too. I really did. I enjoyed this a lot. And you guys make it all worthwhile, you know. I mean, I love it when people interact and they, they give their side of things, or they talk about certain haunting things that's happened and stuff like that. It's all interesting. This is how we learn. Don, I'll catch you later, brother, and I'm going to try my best to get
Maybe you're gonna have to.
up there to see you, maybe late spring or something, when temperatures gets warm enough, and you can take me to that cemetery up there. I'd love that. Anyway, I'm going to say good night, everybody. I enjoyed it a whole lot. Love y'all.
Hey, move.
Peace out. Catch you on the flip side.